Hello and welcome back. I'm Stephen. I hope your week has gone well. And before we get into the Derby match preview, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That'd be greatly appreciated. Yeah, so today we're going to discuss the upcoming game at Old Trafford. But first, there's some breaking news regarding Marc Guéhi, Fabrizio Romano, and Ben Jacobs, and probably one or two others now by the time you see this, are reporting that personal terms are agreed and there is a deal in principle to bring him to City. I don't want to sound spoiled, but couldn't they have done this yesterday so he could play today? Tomorrow, sorry. Yeah, I mean, that's me being a bit silly. Great signing. Really, really good. Good news that, because I think we definitely need the numbers. People saying, well, he's a free transfer in the summer. This is an expensive deal. Well, he's only free for one team, isn't it? The team that he goes to. Everyone else is stood there with their hands in their pockets, looking for someone else to buy who will cost, and with no guarantees. So there's always a cost of doing, but there's also a cost of not doing. So to get someone like him in with his experience, his profile, I don't see any downside really. I view him very much in like the Semenyo mold, as in he's had a good couple of seasons in the division and ready for that step up into a team that wants to challenge for the league and a team that wants to challenge for the Champions League as well. People talk about, he might not get game time for City, and I'm sure that was a concern, but Gvardiol's out for the season, Stones is out for the season and walking out the door at the end of the season. Ake might even go this window, so that leaves us with Kusanov, as he's not available till mid-Feb, and Marc Guéhi. So we've got Max, Kusanov, Diaz, and Guéhi. That's four options for centre-back. I think that's good. And Kusanov could play right back as well, if we need to give people game time. And we've got good options, so we've got O'Reilly as well. He can play left back. Norrie might have a problem, for next season when Gvardiol comes back, because Gvardiol will play. So you'll have Gvardiol left back, Guéhi, Diaz, Nunes a right back. That's good. Well, anyway, Norrie fits in. He's got work to do this season, hasn't he? But we'll worry about him later on. But yeah, I think overall a really good signing, just what we need. Gives us some options, and I think we can kick on from here now. And that it does look like a league-winning defence, that doesn't it? It does look like the treble-winning defence. 3 or 4 big boys at the back, solid. So yeah, very very excited about him, and hopefully he can hit the ground running just like Semenyo did. So yeah, so all good, all good. Pep obviously didn't say anything in his press conference about it. He literally said, "I have nothing to say." Talking about his press conference, he looked in good spirits. Had a nice jumper on. A shirt and jumper combo looked good. Probably out of my price range, but it is my birthday in a couple of weeks, so you never know. Yeah, he looked in good spirits. Said Oscar Bob, no chance. John Stones, no chance. Nico Gonzalez will see this afternoon in training. And that was it. No one asked him about Rodri from what I saw. I saw the first bit, obviously the embargo bit will come out later this evening. So nothing there from a Rodri perspective. He's coming against Newcastle. Hopefully he's ready to start, but we'll come on to that later. Because I think overall we're in good shape now. People are coming back from injury, back from AFCON. 2 good wins, Exeter and Newcastle. Signings hit the ground running. Another signing coming in. It's all looking very, very positive, isn't it? Going into this, in contrast to United. So we'll talk about United. It's always good to have a laugh, isn't it? And then we'll go on towards our team, etc. How are United looking? Pretty bad, aren't they? Pretty bad. Take the emotion out of it. I know it's hard and derby days, and I wake up, in the middle of the night worrying about games like this. But the reality is, they're not in a good place. If you took the emotion out of it should be pretty straightforward. But it isn't, is it? It isn't. They've got an interim caretaker, however you want to characterise him. So did Chelsea, and we all saw how that game played out. But they've sacked the manager. I know they said he fell out with Wilcox, and he probably did. But the reality is the results were appalling. They were appalling. They've played a lot of easy games, and they hardly got any points out of them. They are a bad outfit, whichever way you want to cut it. They're a bad outfit. So They have a couple of players returning, and Buemo and Ahmad, but do you just come off the plane of AFCON straight into a Manchester derby? I don't know. And Buemo didn't score a goal in AFCON, and we'll come on to them in a bit. But I was listening to the Stretford Paddock earlier today. They were reasonably balanced, although they did talk about Foden not getting criticised for having a poor season last year, which just simply isn't true, is it? He got a lot of criticism, particularly from the City fan base. But he still was our second leading goal scorer and probably scored more goals than any of their players. So maybe that's why he didn't get as much stick as they liked. But listening to them, listening to friends of mine, the United starting lineup, I mean, there's not a lot there. I'll run through what I've sort of put together, what I think they'll start with. Lemon's in net. There's not a lot there, is there, with him? The Bournemouth game, some of them goals he was letting in. Nah. Listen, he's a mid keeper at best, mid-range Prem keeper at best. Darlow at right back, he's limited ability. He gets a lot of stick, but he tries, doesn't he? He's a typical United player. He's horrible. For whatever reason, they seem to give him a lot of stick. I'm never quite sure why. Outside of him being shit, but there had plenty of shit players over the years. But he seems to get a lot. Heaven and Martinez are talking about. Heaven, he's tall, strong, apparently. I don't see much in him. I think he looks like the young 18, 19-year-old that he is. I think he's out of his depth in the Premier League. Particularly maybe United. Maybe Maguire will play him. Maybe Euro will play him. Fucking Euro, 60 million quid. Jesus Christ. 6 million quid for him. Martinez next to one of them. Martinez. I mean, the injury is the best thing that's ever happened to that Martinez. Go on about him like he's Paolo Maldini. He's at the scene of every hammering. Played against Liverpool, 7-0. Played against us, 6-3. Played against Brentford, 4-0 or something. He's always there when they're getting hammered. So I'm not worried about him. And then maybe Luke Shaw or Dorgo at left back. Fucking, what's that? And they're talking about midfield, two of Casemiro and Agate. I mean, we should just be passing through that. Agate gives the ball away all the time. Casemiro can't run. Listen, he's a threat off set pieces. I'll give him that. So we've got to be careful on that front. But Agate, Casemiro, I mean, come on. And then Fernandez, number 10 role. Yeah, he's a threat, and he can blam one in. He can always also knock out a play, though, can't he? So, again, is there much there with him? I appreciate this. Listen, this isn't the BBC. This is not going to be a balanced view of United. This is a very, very partial view. My position is they're shit. There is no on the other hand, really. So, Fernandez, he's a threat, and he might blam one in. He fucking probably won't know. And then the forward line, they've bought these three players. Sesko, Cunha and Buemo for fortunes, by the way. And look how many goals have scored between this season. So Sesko, 4 goals in total in the Premier League. 2 of them against Burnley, right? Cunha, 4 goals this season. Neville raving on about how he's a new Cantona. Fucking now to him. He's played for Hertha Berlin and Wolves in the last 5 years. I mean, how good is he? And Buemo, 6 goals. And Buemo, I think he's all right. He's decent enough, isn't he? Good technically. Knows where the net is, sort of. But, the decent mid-table Premier League players, aren't they? But Newcastle got better players than them. And we've dealt with them pretty comfortably. So I'm not worried. Outside of the emotion, of course. There's not a lot there from possession, sustaining attacks point of view. I can't see that happening. I think, particularly in the first 10 minutes, it'll be long balls, play for set pieces, foul us, and shoot from anywhere. That'll be their tactic, with a view to getting the crowd on side, maybe get one of our players booked for winding them up, and something like that. If we can take this thing out in the first 10 minutes, then I expect us to score a couple of goals between 20 minutes and 65, and then it's just finished. I don't want to sound arrogant, because I'm not. I'm a nervous wreck for derby matches, but I just can't see it. And I do appreciate the preview for the Chelsea game sounded something pretty similar. But I'm just not having it that they're any good. I'm not having it. I watched them against Brighton in the FA Cup, and I've watched them against Bournemouth, and I've watched them 3 or 4 times recently. And there's nothing there. Outside of a bland goal in a set piece, there is nothing there at all. Now, Carrick might be the new Guardiola for all I know, and, maybe I look like an idiot, but I fucking doubt it. So, keep it tight for the first 10 minutes. Like we did against Newcastle. They'll probably have a few chances. They probably will have a couple of chances here and there. But so did Newcastle. But keep it tight. Their morale's very low, and if we could score in the first 20, I think we'll bury him. I think we'll bury him. Morale's got to be low there, hasn't it? They've sacked the manager. They're out of all the cup competitions. The caretaker managers have to ring Ferguson up to check if it's okay if they can put the kettle on or park in his parking space or whatever it is. They're all weirdos. Imagine us get Vincent Kompany's a manager in 3 years. He starts talking about, I don't like the idea of parking in Pep Guardiola's parking space, or I had to ring him up to check if it was all right, if whatever. I'd expect him to give his P45 there and then. He's supposed to be a leader of men, not some sycophant or some bloke who retired 15 years ago, whatever it was. Pathetic. Pathetic. Now, I don't want to say I feel sorry for Jim Radcliffe, but he must be wondering what he's done here. You've got the Hale Mafia, like I spoke about the other day. Scholes, Johnny Evans. Who's the other one? Nicky Butt hovering round. Solskjaer in the background. All chirping in. Neville on the overlap. God's sake, it's ridiculous. But then Radcliffe's made some daft decisions as well, hasn't he? Ten Hag, I will keep you, now we'll sack you. Oh, we'll hire you, pay a fortune to get you out of Sporting Lisbon. You were a disaster. You should have been sacked after the Europa League final. Oh no, we'll keep you as well. Spend a lot of money on transfers and then bin him off again for another fortune. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. But then Neville's on the overlap talking about Ancelotti, Tuchel, or Pochettino. They're the three they're waiting for the World Cup. If Ancelotti goes there, I'll give you the money myself. Honest to God. I mean, then we're looking to get Gareth Southgate. They are good payers, so maybe they will, but I can't see any of those two putting up with their shit. I just can't see it. But they might not want a nice little payout. Tuchel falls out with people wherever he goes. So why anyone, who wants a structure like that would go for him is beyond me. Because it just won't work unless you are, just give him the keys and say off you go. Then he might do. Ancelotti, bit of a handle turn him, and I can't see him doing much there. And Pochettino, when was the last time he was successful as a manager? A long time ago, wasn't it? So who knows? Who gives the monkeys? They've had it as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, on to us. What are we thinking? Again, put the derby element to one side. And I think this is a very, very big game. Arsenal have already won here. Arsenal got Forest away this weekend. And then Arsenal play home to United next week. I mean, so as far as United go, home to City away to Arsenal, I think they're pretty good games to start with because no one's expecting anything. So just put up a fight and you'll get the masses cheering for you. If you play Burnley at home, you expect to bury them, and you don't, and you probably won't. So yeah, I think the pressure's off Carrick for this game within reason. Within 5-0, he's got a problem, hasn't he? But anyway, let them worry about them. So it's a big game because United aren't very good. Arsenal are likely to beat them next week. Arsenal got Forest. Forest going to get out anything against Arsenal? Probably not. Maybe, but probably not. I watched Arsenal against Chelsea during the week. I thought Arsenal were exceptional. I thought they were really good. I thought they were very, very good. Solid. And I know if he's 3-2, it looked pretty tight at the end, but I don't think it was a tight game at all in any way. So yeah, but I expect to be us and Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final. So it's a big game. I think we now have big players to step up, and we should be all right. We've got plenty of players who've been there before, plenty of players who've won there and scored there before, and we haven't been beaten for a long time. It was at Newcastle last team to beat us, and that was a 50-50 game, wasn't it? So are these really good enough to turn us over? I don't think they are. Obviously, again, anything can happen in the Premier League. Someone scores a free kick, they get a dodgy penalty. Anything like that is obviously caveated. But player for player, we should be. We shouldn't have anything to worry about, really. So obviously, Donnarumma to start in net. I think he's been great since his debut was against them, wasn't it? When we were in the shit, really. We've just been beating off Brighton and Tottenham, and we didn't really know what to expect for the rest of the season. He's come in, shored everything up. We beat them and beaten pretty comfortably, and we've not looked back since. I know there's been a couple of disappointing results, Newcastle, Villa, Leverkusen, but over a course of a season, these results happen. I think overall it's been pretty good season so far. Yeah, I think he's been great since we've signed him. Yeah, distribution not great, but I'm not concerned about that really because I don't really want us knocking it around our 6-yard box, particularly in the first 10 minutes against these. I want it up the pitch, give it Semenyo and Haaland to hold on to, take the sting out of their attacks, take the sting out of their momentum, dead the game, quiet the crowd, and then start to play like we did against Newcastle. So yeah, Donnarumma in net, Nunes right back. I mean, he's come a long way, hasn't he? He's come a long way. I was ready to fire him out of a cannon into the sea after that Brighton game. And Leeds at home wasn't that long ago. Is it what? A couple months ago, 6 weeks ago. So he's not immune. Going back to that Newcastle game, and he's looked really solid. Playing in Madrid, he was again daft foul in early doors, but generally speaking, he's been top notch for us, and he's got the ingredients. He's big, strong, quick, run for days. So yeah, just keep it up, keep it tight. Don't do anything daft, and we should be okay. Kusanov and Max, should they play at centre half? I reckon we roll with it, Listen, if you look at the profile of United centre forward, Seska, it's not Ruud van Nistelrooy, is it? It's not Andy Cole. It's not an experienced Premier League international goal scorer. It's a work in progress. So from a profile perspective, he's probably the same level as Kusanov and Max, although I'd argue Kusanov would be further along. So they should be able to handle him. And I don't want to see Ake at centre-back at all. I don't want to see him there. I like to see him against Newcastle, out on the left, keep it solid, and don't make any mistakes. And he can organise, and he can organise from there and talk, Max Lane through the game if he plays the left side. So that means no O'Reilly. I never thought I'd say don't play O'Reilly. Yeah, I think I'd leave him out. I think I'd play Ake just for the experience. We need some experience in the back line, don't we? I think that's a fair thing to say. And the only place we're going to get it, if you accept Ake can't play at centre half, is Ake at left back. And this is why we needed Marc Guéhi yesterday, not now. But that's just me being spoiled. So yeah, I'll go with that. Nunes, Kusanov, Max, and Ake. Max was saying in the Sun, I think it was, the coach came from. He said looking forward to the derby match, and yeah, let's roll with it. Why not? That's the horse we rode in on. He came in when we were in the shit. He came in our hour of need. He's not let us down. You can't just turf him out now, can you? Maybe you can. I wouldn't know. Midfield, Rodgers. Hopefully he can start. If he can start as a game changer. We all saw what he did when he came against Newcastle. Just different class. I mean, I like Nico Gonzalez. I think he's really good since we signed him, particularly this season when he can actually finish games and doesn't look knackered like he did last year. Rodgers is the best in the world, isn't he? So the gap is massive. I mean, Nico Gonzalez is still better than anything United have got, so I wouldn't have any worries. But if Rodgers could play, it's a game changer. But like I said earlier, didn't mention anything on him on the press conference. And Nico Gonzalez said they'll find out this afternoon. So, we'll probably find out tomorrow morning. So, Rodgers or Nico, as far as I'm concerned, along with Bernardo. If Bernardo plays in midfield, centre midfield, like he did against Newcastle, and do what he did there, control the game from there, set the tempo, get the ball off the centre backs, wind United up, win some fouls, foul them a few times, and just wind them up and do what he did against Newcastle. Just do that, and we should be fine. Then the front four. Cool, I've got an interesting stat about Haaland and Foden in a minute, which they mentioned in the press conference. I'd play Semenyo and Doku. I might have been a bit harsh on my assessment of Doku after the Newcastle game. I thought it was all right, but I've heard people talk about him being man of the match. But I was sort of working. I had one eye on the laptop, one eye on the telly, so maybe I missed something. But I'd play them both in this game. I know there's an argument now, we need someone from the bench to, if we're struggling, we need to come back and introduce someone off the bench. Well, unfortunately, Doku's not a goal off the bench, is he? So we're bringing on someone who'll beat if he crosses in. Is that what we need off the bench if we're losing or drawing? And Semenyo, well, I want him starting and end the story. He's got to start. I think he'll do well physically. He'll run them. He'll win the ball off them. He was brilliant against United when he played for Bournemouth. The ball kept going up to him, and Luke Shaw's at left back. He won the ball every time. Won it, headed it, chested it, nudged him out of the way, whatever it happened to be. So he'd be a key player in the first half, definitely. And I'd play Doku because they'd be terrified of him. I know he doesn't score many, but they'd be terrified of him. And then if we are struggling, we do have Turkey off the bench and Ain't Nori off the bench. And Ain't Nori made a big difference. That's probably a bit generous. It was really good when he come on against Newcastle. So yeah, I'd go with Semenyo, Doku, and Foden again. I said about that start last time. No one's ran as much as Foden has in the division. Excuse me. So yeah, I'd get him in there. He loves a goal against United. 15 out of our last 17 goals we've scored against United have been from either Haaland or Foden. That's wild. That is an amazing stat. So they're going to get on the pitch. And Haaland, obviously, would start up front. I'd start him tomorrow and then give him midweek off. Simple as that. And then maybe play Marmoush against Wolves or something if he needs a rest. But you look at Haaland and you look at United's potential centre-halves. I mean, then they're not particularly big. They're not particularly strong. They're not particularly good. Any perm of them. The only one I'd be worried about is Maguire. And that's because he might score at the other end, might score against us, not because he's going to keep Haaland quiet. So there's only so many ways I can say the same thing. I don't see a problem. They haven't got a lot. They're not confident. They might do some, though. They might do some, obviously. There's some caveat that they might do something. But I think if we go there, keep it tight, which might be tricky in the first 10, 15 minutes, but Brighton dominated them. Everyone dominates them. Yeah, they score on the break, don't they? They fly forward when they're in the shit, and then they might get something. But every Premier League team could do that. So I'm talking about United in general here. And, Casemiro and Ugarte in midfield. Come on. There's nothing there. Set pieces is a worry, but it always is. I mean, Donnarumma punches things. They might get some off set pieces. They might do. So might we. We got some big boys in there now, haven't we? Ake's good in the air, Haaland's good in the air, Semenyo, Rodders, even Gonzalez, So, yeah, I'm pretty confident. I'm going to go for United 0, City 3, Semenyo, Haaland, and Turkey off the bench. That's what I'll go for. Because I think we need, if Rodders doesn't play though, or Nico Gonzalez doesn't play, it's a game changer. That's a problem. To go in without a senior centre half and without a senior centre midfield player is tricky. But it was tricky against Newcastle, and they still did the business, didn't they? If you can play, if O'Reilly and Bernardo can play against Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton, and then Tonali, I'm sure they can handle whatever combination United want to play. So again, I'm very, very confident. Whichever way you cut it, we're obvious favourites, but we're against Chelsea. Anything can happen, but I don't think it will. I think it's going to be really, really straightforward. Fingers crossed. That's the hope. Anyway, so United 0, City 3, Semenyo, Haaland, and Turkey. And we've got Randers off the bench as well, haven't we? If we need a goal, I want to start him. I won't have anywhere near it. So yeah, let's call it a day there. If you got this far, thank you very much. I'll be back for the review. I might do it Sunday. I'll see how it goes. If it's if it's a defeat, it might take me a day or so to get over it. If it's a convincing victory, then I'll be here at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. Not waiting, really wanting to get something out. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm confident. Hope you are too. Put your comments, score predictions in the comments below. That'd be greatly appreciated. And yeah, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the game, and I'll see you for the review on Sunday or Monday. Thank you.